Why did a uniformed server hand me papers in my office lobby while my husband stood behind him, calm and clean, like he had been waiting for this day? How did one "he's away" text turn into orders that started the same afternoon? I thought I could control the story, but the story arrived in print. My name is Verena Tarrant, and I used to think I was the reasonable one in our marriage. I worked hard, I kept our life moving, and I told myself I carried the weight. Elliot Carver, my husband, liked rules and routines. He liked calm rooms and clean counters. I said he liked control, and I made that sound like a crime. That Monday started like any other. I sat in the open-plan office under bright lights. My screen showed a campaign calendar and a messy spreadsheet. My manager, Martin Shaw, asked why I looked tired. I said the client had been difficult. He told me to keep it together because we had a deadline. I said I would handle it. I did not mention that I had barely slept, not because of work, but because my phone kept lighting up. The phone buzzed again under my notebook. I glanced down and saw Brent Halvorsen's name. I had saved him with a simple label, like a coworker, because I liked the secret of it. He had sent a short message about the gym, then another one about my hair, then another one with a joke. It was not romantic words. It was the tone. It made me feel seen in a way I told myself Elliot never did. Leah Min, who sat 2 desks away, noticed my face change. She asked if everything was okay. I said I was just busy. She nodded and went back to her work. I liked Leah because she did not ask too much. My friends asked too much, but in a way that fed me. At lunch, I met Cassidy Pike outside the building. Cassidy always walked fast and talked fast. She asked if Elliot was still being weird about my clothes. I said he was. I told her he commented on everything and made it feel heavy. She said I deserved to feel free. She asked if I still talked to that trainer. I said he was just a friend. That was the first lie of the day, and it felt easy. I told myself it was not to lie yet because nothing had happened yet. I said to myself that I was only thinking. I said, respect follows results. And I had results. Elliot had routines. I framed it like that in my head because it made me feel right. Later in the afternoon, Elliot texted me and asked what time I would be home. I stared at the message longer than I needed. He had always asked that, even before Brent, but now it annoyed me. I replied and said I would be late because we had a client call. That was half true. We did have a call. It ended early. When I walked to my car, I did not drive straight home. I drove past the gym. I told myself I only wanted a smoothie. I told myself I wanted to clear my head. Brent was at the front desk, leaning forward like he owned the place. He waved as if it was normal. He asked how my day was. I said it was a mess. He asked if my husband still monitored me. I said yes. I made Elliot sound bigger and darker than he was, because it made my choice look smaller. Brent offered to walk me to my car. I said it was fine, but I let him do it anyway. He asked if I ever felt trapped. I said I did. He said I should not live like that. I said he did not understand how complicated it was. He laughed softly and said he understood enough. His hand brushed my elbow for a second. It was nothing, but my skin woke up. On the drive home, I practiced my face in the mirror. I made it neutral. I made it tired. I made it like I had been working. I told myself this was smart. I told myself Elliot's questions were the real problem. When I opened the front door, I smelled pasta sauce. Elliot was in the kitchen. 2 mugs sat on the counter, but only one was near the coffee maker. The other was by the sink, turned slightly away. I noticed that detail, and I felt irritation. He asked if I ate. I said I grabbed something at work. He asked why my hair smelled like shampoo. I said the office air was dry, so I washed it at lunch. He looked at me like he wanted to believe me, and also like he did not. He asked if the client call went long. I said yes. He asked which client. I said it was the one with the new brand colors. He asked what time it ended. I said I did not remember. That was when his eyes changed. Not anger. Something colder, like he put a lid on a pot. I acted offended. I asked why he was interrogating me. He said he was only asking. I said he never trusted me. He said he trusted me, but he felt distance. I said he always made things about himself. He said he was trying to talk. I told myself his calm voice was a trick. I told myself he was being passive, and that was worse than yelling. We ate at the table. Elliot asked if we could plan a family weekend with Mila. I said maybe, depending on work. He asked if I could stop taking calls during dinner. I said my job was demanding. He said he missed me. I said he missed a version of me that did not exist anymore. Even as I said it, I knew it was cruel, but I felt powerful. Mila ran in from the living room with her drawing. She asked if we could all go to the park soon. I said yes, but I did not look up. Elliot thanked her and told her it was a good picture. She smiled at him, then looked at me, waiting for my smile too. I gave her a quick one. I told myself she would be fine. Children adapt. That is what I told myself. After Mila went to brush her teeth, Elliot stood by the kitchen doorway. He asked if I was unhappy. I said I was exhausted. He asked if I still wanted this marriage. I said he was being dramatic. He asked if there was someone else. I laughed once and said he watched too many shows. He looked down for a second, then nodded, like he accepted my answer, but not in a warm way. He walked to his small desk near the hall closet. He opened a drawer, and I heard a soft click of a lock. It was quick, but it caught my attention. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing bills. I told him he did not need to lock bills. He said it was nothing, and kept his voice even. I went to the bedroom and scrolled my phone. Brent had sent a message asking if I got home safe. I did not answer right away. I waited, because waiting made me feel in control. Then Dana, my sister, called. She asked how Elliot was acting. I said he was on my case again. She asked if he accused me of cheating. I said yes, like he was crazy. She told me to be careful and to stop feeding his jealousy. I said she was right, and I felt proud that I had someone on my side. When Elliot came to bed, he did not reach for me. He faced the other way. I wanted him to reach, just so I could reject him and feel justified. He did not. That made me angry. In the dark, his phone lit up once on the nightstand. I saw a calendar reminder flash for a second. It said, meeting, personal, no details. Just that. He turned the screen down, like he did not want the light. I told myself it was probably work. I told myself it was nothing. But my stomach tightened anyway, and I fell asleep, thinking about how easy it would be to prove I still had options. The next days moved fast, like I was sliding down a smooth hill and pretending I could stop any time. At work, I stayed late on purpose, even when the tasks were done. I kept a spreadsheet open so it looked serious. I clicked through tabs and refreshed pages just to feel busy. When Martin walked by, he asked if I could finish the draft by morning. I said yes. I did not tell him that I was waiting for my phone to buzz again. Brent kept finding reasons to message me. He asked how my husband was acting today. I said Elliot was tense. He asked if I could come by the gym for a minute. I said I had no time. Then I went anyway, because saying no first made me feel like a good person. I started to build a story I could repeat without thinking. I told myself I was doing it for safety. If anyone asked, I had a clean answer. Elliot asked why I had changed my passcode. I said my company told us to update security. He asked why my phone faced down on the table now. I said the screen distracted me. He asked why I smelled like the gym sometimes. I said I was trying to be healthy. He did not shout. That was what made it harder. When Elliot got angry in the past, I could point at it and say he was the problem. Now he spoke softly and waited for my answers. I said his calm was fake. I said he was collecting reasons to blame me. I said that to myself, and then I said it to other people. On Thursday, Cassidy planned a rooftop bar night. She said we needed fresh air and pretty photos. I went because I wanted a stage. Dana came too, and she watched me like she knew something, but also wanted the details. At the bar, the city lights made everyone look better. Cassidy took my phone and filmed short clips of us laughing. She asked if Elliot still acted like a dad instead of a husband. I said he did. Dana asked if he tried to control what I wore. I said he always commented. I knew I was shaping them. I used small words that sounded true and left out the parts that would make me look bad. My phone buzzed. It was Elliot asking if I would be home soon because Mila wanted to say goodnight. I looked at the message and felt irritation again, like he had timed it to steal my fun. I told Cassidy he was being needy. She rolled her eyes and asked why I stayed married to someone like that. I said marriage was not that simple. I made my face sad so it looked like I was a good wife trapped in a hard situation. I texted Elliot and said I was still with friends and would be back later. He asked if I could call Mila for 1 minute. I said I would. I stepped aside near the stairwell door and called. Mila asked if I was coming home. I said soon. She asked if she could keep the nightlight on. I said yes. Elliot came on the line and asked if I was safe. I said I was fine. He asked where the bar was. I said downtown. He asked who was with me. I said Cassidy and Dana. He paused, then said he hoped I had fun. His voice was too controlled, like he was practicing it. When I went back to the group, Cassidy asked what he said. I told her he tried to guilt me. She told me to ignore him. Dana asked if he sounded upset. I said yes, even though he did not. I needed them to see him as the villain, because that made me feel like the hero. Cassidy posted a photo of us with a caption about finally breathing. People liked it fast. A few people I barely knew commented. Then Brent commented too, with a small flame emoji and a line about confidence. I liked the comment right away. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself Elliot was not even looking. When I got home, it was late. The apartment hallway was quiet. The stairwell smelled like cold concrete. I had heels in my hand and tried to walk without noise, but the door hinge still squeaked. Elliot was not asleep. He sat at the kitchen table with his laptop open, but the screen was dim. A folder lay beside him with a plain label that said, Bank. He looked up when I came in, and his eyes moved to my phone, then back to my face. He asked if I had a good time. I said yes. He asked if I drank. I said only one. He asked why I did not answer his last message. I said the music was loud. He asked about Brent's comment. He did not accuse. He only asked who Brent was to me. I made my laugh sharp and said Brent was just a gym guy who joked with everyone. Elliot asked why the gym guy felt close enough to comment like that. I said Elliot was overreacting. I told him he always tried to turn my life into a courtroom. He asked if I wanted to go to counseling again. I said he was the one who needed help because he saw danger everywhere. He asked why I spoke to him like he was an enemy. I said he acted like an enemy first. I knew my logic was thin, but I kept pushing because stopping would mean looking at myself. Elliot stood and rinsed his mug. He put it on the far side of the counter, away from mine. He did it slowly, like a habit he had already decided on. Then his phone rang once. The screen showed a missed call with no caller ID. He did not answer. He only turned the phone over and walked to the hall closet. I followed him with my eyes. I heard the closet door open, then the soft sound of a drawer. Another small click like a lock. He came back with nothing in his hands. He asked if I could keep Mila's routine stable this week because she had a school thing on Friday. I said he was trying to use the child to control me. He said he was only asking for planning. I said he always had a hidden plan. He went to bed without touching me. I lay beside him and scrolled old photos of us, not because I missed him, but because I wanted proof that I still looked like a good wife. My phone buzzed again. Brent asked if I got home okay. I stared at the screen, then typed that Elliot would be away for work next week, so my schedule would be easier. I pressed send, and I told myself it was only information. I told myself I was just talking. Then I turned my phone face down and listened to Elliot's steady breathing, and I felt strangely sure that he was awake too. Friday was Mila's school thing, and Elliot had been right about one part. She cared about routine more than my feelings. In the morning, she asked if I would come. I said yes. Elliot asked if we could leave on time. I said he was acting like a manager. He said he only wanted Mila to feel safe. I said Mila was fine, and he worried too much. I still went, but I made it look like I went alone. I arrived a few minutes late on purpose, because arriving late meant people looked at me, and I could explain myself. I walked in with my coffee and my phone in my hand, like I had been pulled from important work. Leah Min was there with her niece, and she waved. I waved back and smiled like everything was normal. Mila stood on a small stage with other kids. She looked for us. Elliot stood on one side of the room. I stood on the other. It looked like space, not conflict. People could read it how they wanted, and I preferred that. When Mila finished, she ran to Elliot first, then came to me. Elliot asked if we could take a photo together. I said we could, but I stood slightly apart. In the picture, my smile looked bright, and his looked careful. After that, Ruth Carver invited us to a family dinner on Sunday. She said Gordon wanted to see Mila, and she said it like a simple plan. Elliot asked if I could come. I said yes, but I added that I had a lot of work. I wanted it noted. I wanted everyone to see that I was the one doing the heavy lifting. Sunday came, and I wore a dress that looked effortless. I knew what I was doing. At the family restaurant, the long table was already loud when we arrived. Trish, my mother, hugged me hard and asked if I was okay. I said I was tired. Dana leaned in and asked if Elliot was still being cold. I said he was acting like a stranger in our house. Elliot sat across from me. He kept his hands near his plate. He spoke softly to Mila and asked what she wanted to drink. Mila said lemonade. Elliot told the waiter in a polite voice. I watched him do it. I wanted him to slip. I wanted him to show the anger that would prove my story. Gordon asked how work was going. Elliot said it was busy, but fine. Ruth asked me the same question. I said I was under pressure and did not get much support at home. I looked at Elliot when I said it, like I was waiting for him to defend himself. He only nodded once, small, like he accepted the comment without agreeing. Trish laughed lightly and asked Elliot if he was still strict about Verena going out. Elliot asked what she meant. Trish said Verena needed friends and fun. Elliot said Verena could do what she wanted. His voice was calm, almost blank. I jumped in and said, Elliot acted calm in public but questioned me at home. I said he made little comments about my phone, my clothes, my time. I said it with a sad face that I had practiced. Dana supported me right away. She said Elliot was too sensitive and took everything personal. Cassidy was there too, invited by me, by accident, and she added that I used to be more confident before marriage. Ruth's eyes moved from me to Elliot, then to Mila, then back to me. She did not argue. That silence felt like judgment, and it made me talk more. Elliot asked me, in front of everyone, if we could not do this at dinner. I said he was proving my point. I said he always tried to control when I spoke. Gordon asked Elliot what was going on. Elliot said he did not want to speak about private things in public. I said that was exactly it, that he loved private rules, because then no one could see what he was like. I talked like I was protecting myself. Really, I was protecting my image. I needed the table to be on my side. If they were on my side, then I could keep doing what I was doing without feeling dirty. When the food came, Elliot ate slowly. He asked Mila about school and listened to her like she was the only person in the room. That made me angry too, because it made him look like a good father. I wanted the story to be simple. Bad husband, trapped wife, brave new freedom. After dinner, Cassidy suggested we all go to a community hall event later that week. It was a local fundraiser with music and a small stage. She said it would be fun. Trish loved the idea. Dana said we needed a night out. I told Elliot we should go as a family. so people could see we were fine. Elliot asked if that was really the reason. I said he was always suspicious. At the community hall, the room was crowded. People filmed clips for social media. Cassidy loved that. She pulled me into a group photo and asked where Elliot was. I pointed at him near the snack table with Mila. Cassidy laughed and said he looked like security. I laughed too. I should not have, but I did. It made me feel like I was winning. Later, someone started a toast. Cassidy asked everyone to raise a cup for independence. People cheered. I stepped forward and took the moment like it was mine. I said I had learned that love should not feel like being watched. I said I had learned that a woman should not have to ask permission to breathe. I did not say Elliot's name, but I looked right at him. Some people turned to see his reaction. Elliot did not react the way they wanted. He did not shout. He did not storm out. He simply lifted Mila's cup of juice and said quietly that he hoped everyone had a good night. That was all. It made me look louder and meaner, and I hated that, so I pushed again. I walked to him and asked if he was embarrassed. He asked what I meant. I said he always played innocent. He asked if we could go home after Mila finished her cookie. I said he was using Mila to end the conversation. He said he only wanted to keep her bedtime steady. I rolled my eyes on purpose so someone would see. On the drive home, I told myself he was acting calm to punish me. I told myself he was building a case in his head to make me the bad one. That thought was supposed to scare me into stopping. Instead, it made me want to move faster, like I could outrun consequences. At home, I went to the kitchen for water. The printer in the small office corner made a short sound, like it had just been used. The air carried a faint toner smell. Elliot was not there. I heard a low hum for a few seconds, like a shredder, then it stopped. When I asked what he was doing, he said he was cleaning up old papers. I told him he was being dramatic again. He said nothing. He walked past me and placed his mug on the far side of the counter, away from mine, like the distance was now a rule. I stared at the space between the two cups and felt a strange heat in my chest, like anger mixed with worry, and I opened my phone to text Brent even before I knew what I would say. I did not plan it like a movie. I planned it like a tired woman who wanted a reward. Elliot had told me he would be away for work on Saturday. He did not say much detail, and I did not ask. I only heard what I wanted to hear. I told myself that if he could leave and act calm, then I could do what I wanted too. Friday night, after the toner smell and the shredder hum, I texted Brent. I told him Elliot would be gone most of Saturday and that the house would be quiet. Brent replied fast. He asked if I was sure. I said yes. I felt proud of the word. I felt powerful, like I was choosing my life instead of waiting for it. Saturday morning, I acted normal. I made Mila pancakes. Elliot drank coffee without looking at me too long. He asked if I could pick Mila up from a birthday party later. I said yes. He said he might be out for a while. I said in a flat voice that I understood. He nodded, like we were co-workers sharing a schedule. Before he left, he walked to the hall closet. The closet had always been a messy place with coats and boxes. That morning, it looked different. It looked sorted. A few clean folders sat on the top shelf with simple labels like utilities and household. Elliot took a small keyring from the shelf and clipped a new key onto it. I noticed because it made a sharp metal sound. I asked what the key was for. He said it was for storage, and he said it like it was boring. He left, and I watched from the window as his car pointed toward the street, ready like he had parked it that way on purpose. I told myself he did not care anymore. I told myself he had made his choice. That made my choice feel cleaner. Brent arrived around noon. I did not let him ring the doorbell. I had told him to text when he was near, and he did. I opened the door fast and pulled him inside like I was hiding a package from rain. Brent looked around the entryway and asked if Elliot was really gone. I said he was. I said Elliot always ran on time and did not come back early. I said it with too much confidence, like I needed Brent to believe it so I could believe it too. We went into the bedroom because it was the only place with a door that felt private. I did not turn on music. I did not light anything. I did not do romance. I did secrecy. Brent tried to touch me like it was a joke. I told him to be quiet. He asked why I looked tense. I said the risk was the point. I will not describe more than that. I will not give it a soft name either. It was betrayal. It was me making a choice inside the home where my child slept, and that detail should have stopped me. It did not. At the time, I told myself that I had been lonely for too long. I told myself Elliot had pushed me here with his rules and his questions. I still think that thought is poison, but back then it felt like medicine. Then I heard a sound that did not fit. It was not a floorboard creak. It was not the front door. It was a small breath, sharp and held back, like someone trying not to exist. It came from the closet. My eyes went to the closet door, and my skin went cold. Brent saw my face and asked what was wrong. I told him to stop moving. He asked if Elliot was home. I said no, but the word came out weak. The closet door did not open right away. That was the worst part. There was a pause, long enough for my mind to sprint through excuses and fail to find one. Then the door opened slowly, and Elliot stepped out. He looked clean. He looked tired. He did not look wild. He did not look like a man about to do something illegal or violent. He looked like a man who had watched a bridge collapse and decided not to jump after it. Brent froze. He asked who Elliot was. I said Elliot was my husband. Brent asked why Elliot was in the closet. Elliot did not answer Brent. Elliot looked at me. He asked in a quiet voice if I had invited him into our bed. He did not shout. He did not curse. He asked like he already knew and needed to hear my mouth try to deny it. I tried to flip it. I asked why he was hiding. I said that was creepy. I said he was spying on me. Elliot asked how long I had been lying. I said I was not lying, that Brent had come over to talk, that I was stressed. Elliot looked at Brent and asked him to leave. Brent asked if Elliot was serious. Elliot said yes, and his voice stayed steady. Brent grabbed his jacket. He did not apologize. He did not defend me. He asked if we would talk later. I said yes without thinking, like my mouth wanted a rope. Elliot said Brent should not contact me anymore, and he said it like a boundary, not a threat. Brent left fast, and I heard his shoes on the entryway tile, then the door closing. The room went quiet. My heart sounded too loud. Elliot asked if Mila was in the house. I said she was at a birthday party. Elliot nodded once like he was checking a box. He asked if I understood what I had done. I said he was acting like I killed someone. Elliot said very calmly that I had made choices and that choices had results. I started to cry, but the tears felt useless. I told him I felt lonely. I told him he never touched me the right way. I told him he made everything feel like duty. Elliot listened without interrupting. When I finished, he asked if I was done blaming him. That question hit harder than yelling would have. I got angry. I asked if he had planned this. Elliot said he did not plan to catch me like that, but he had suspected, and he needed truth. He said he had come back early because he forgot something. He did not say what. He did not show anything. He only looked at the closet like it was now a place he hated. I asked why he stayed in there. Elliot said he heard voices and stopped. He said he did not want to scare Mila if she walked in. He said he waited until it was clear. He said he recorded nothing in that moment, and he said it plainly, as if he wanted me to know he stayed lawful, even when his life broke. He walked out of the bedroom and into the kitchen. I followed him. He opened a drawer and took out a sticky note that said, "Bring forms." He stared at it for a second, like it was a mistake left by another version of him. Then he put it back and closed the drawer. That night he did not sleep beside me. I found him on the guest bed with a thin blanket. His phone alarm went off once, softly, and I saw the label, "Paper drop." He turned it off without looking at me. When I picked Mila up later, she ran to me and asked why Dad was quiet. I said he had a headache. Mila asked if we were still going to the park tomorrow. I said yes, even though I had no idea what tomorrow meant anymore. At home, Mila noticed the two mugs on opposite counters. She asked why Dad's cup was far away. I told her it was just how he cleaned. Mila looked at Elliot and asked if he was mad. Elliot said he was tired and needed rest. He said he loved her. He did not say he loved me. That evening, my phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. There was no name, just a blank preview. My hands shook as I stared at it, and Elliot, in the other room, closed a drawer with a quiet, final click. Monday morning felt like walking into a room where everyone already knew. Nothing had been posted yet, but the air had changed. Elliot moved through the kitchen like a guest. He rinsed his mug and placed it far from mine again. He packed Mila's lunch with clean, slow hands. He asked what time I would pick her up after school. I said I would do it. He nodded once, like we were confirming a delivery window. I tried to pull him into a fight because a fight would mean he still cared. I asked if he was going to ignore me forever. He said he was not ignoring me. He said he was choosing calm. I asked if he would tell people what happened. He said he would not lie for me. That answer felt like a threat, even though he did not say it like one. At work, I could not focus. I opened the campaign spreadsheet and stared at rows of numbers that meant nothing. Martin called me into a small meeting room with glass walls. He asked if I was okay because I had missed a deadline. I said there were family issues. He asked if I needed time off. I said no. I wanted to look strong. I wanted my life to look stable, because if I looked unstable, people might start asking why. Leah Min walked with me back to my desk. She asked if everything was all right at home. I said Elliot was acting cold and punishing me with silence. Leah said that sounded hard. I leaned into that. I told her Elliot had been watching me and had trust issues. I left out the closet truth. I made it sound like he created a trap. I watched Leah's face carefully, and I saw the moment she stopped fully believing me. It was small. It was still there. Cassidy texted me during lunch. She asked what happened after the fundraiser night. I said Elliot was spiraling and making everything weird. She asked if he had accused me of cheating. I said yes, like he was ridiculous. Cassidy replied that men always did that when they lost control. She told me to keep my head up and not let him win. I loved those words, because they made me feel like I was in a game and not in a mess I caused. Dana called too. She asked if I was safe. I said yes, but Elliot was being calculating. Dana asked what that meant. I said he was acting like a robot. She told me to push him to talk. I said I tried. I did not say that I tried by poking at his worst wound. That afternoon my card declined at the supermarket checkout. It was not a huge purchase, just groceries and Mila's snacks. The cashier looked at me with polite impatience. I tried again. Declined. I felt heat crawl up my neck. I moved aside and tapped at my banking app. The spending limit on the shared account had changed. I walked out with nothing in my hands, like a person who had forgotten how shopping worked. In the parking lot, I called Elliot. He answered on the second ring. I asked why the account was blocked. He said it was not blocked. He said he had moved money into a joint household category and set a limit for extra spending. He said bills and Mila's needs were covered. He said personal spending needed planning now. I told him he was controlling me financially. Elliot said I could keep my paycheck in my own account, and he would do the same. He said it was normal when trust was broken. I said he was punishing Mila too. He said Mila would not be punished. He said Mila would have stability. When I got home, I found a new folder on the kitchen counter. It was not open. It had a plain label. School. Elliot was at the table with his laptop. A delivery tracking page was open in one tab. Another tab showed notary near me. He closed the screen when he saw me. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. That word started to feel like a wall. I went to Mila's room and sat on the edge of her bed while she colored. She asked why Dad slept in the other room. I said Dad was tired and needed space. Mila asked if it was her fault. I said no. I kept my voice soft because she was small, and I knew this part mattered. Still, my mind kept racing like it could outrun the truth. That evening, Trish came over unannounced. She hugged me and whispered that I looked thin. She asked if Elliot was being cruel. I said he was being cold and petty. Trish marched into the kitchen and asked Elliot what he was doing to me. Elliot said he was doing nothing to her. He said he would only discuss Mila's schedule. Trish asked why he was acting like a lawyer. Elliot said he was acting like a parent. Trish raised her voice. She said a real man would fight for his marriage. Elliot stayed seated. He asked Trish to lower her voice because Mila could hear. Trish said Mila should know what kind of man he was. Elliot said he would not argue in front of Mila. That made Trish call him weak. I watched, waiting for him to snap. He did not. Dana came later and pulled me aside. She asked what really happened. I told her a version that made me look cornered. I said Elliot hid and listened, like it was his plan. Dana frowned and said that sounded strange. I got sharp. I asked if she was taking his side. She said she was not taking sides, but she did not want to be dragged into lies. That word, lies, hit me like a slap. That night I tried again to force a conversation. I sat across from Elliot at the table after Mila went to sleep. I asked if he was going to leave us. Elliot said he was not leaving Mila. He said Mila would always have him. I asked if he loved me. He paused, then said he would not discuss feelings while facts were still being denied. I told him I said sorry. Elliot asked what I was sorry for, exactly. I said I was sorry for the situation. He looked at me, calm but hard, and asked if I was ready to tell the full truth to everyone I had involved. I said he wanted to humiliate me. He said he did not want drama. He wanted order. I started crying again, but it felt like noise in a room he had already cleaned. He stood up and walked to the hall closet. I heard the soft click of that lock again. When he came back, he did not carry papers. He carried only his phone, face down, like he did not want me to see what was on it. I asked what he was planning. Elliot looked at me for a long second. Then he said, in a voice so even it scared me, that he would handle it properly. The papers found me at work, not at home, which felt like a lesson in public. I was walking through the office lobby cafe with my badge swinging, trying to look normal, when a uniformed courier stepped in front of me and asked for my name. I said it. He asked me to confirm my address. I did, annoyed, like it was a delivery mistake. Then Elliot appeared behind the courier, calm and clean, holding Mila's backpack strap like he had just finished school pickup. He did not touch me. He did not raise his voice. He only nodded at the courier, like this was a scheduled handoff. The courier handed me a thin packet. The first page had my full name and Elliot's. I saw the words about divorce and temporary orders. I saw a schedule for Mila starting today. I saw rules about the home and money. I saw a line about removing posts and stopping public talk. My throat went dry. I told Elliot this was cruel. He said he was doing it properly, and he was keeping it lawful. He said he had proof of my lies, my alibis, my messages, and the way I pulled other people in. He said he would not argue in public. He said the papers spoke. I looked around and saw Leah Min near the espresso machine, staring at the floor. Cassidy's face was on my phone screen from a missed call, like she already sensed it. Elliot turned away first, walked past me, and took Mila toward the exit like a father following a plan.